Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. This is a series of videos about SolidWorks scripting using Python. And in this video, we are going to learn how to select all segments in a sketch and how to select all points in a sketch. Okay, let's begin. First, I'm going to create a part. Then I'm going to create a new sketch, and in this sketch, I'm going to create random segment such as a closed loop sketch here, and for example a circle there, and I don't know, a rectangle here. Okay, let me rearrange them. Okay, I'm going to save it on my desktop. Okay, as you can see, I have now different segments under this sketch called sketch 1 in my SolidWorks, and sometimes it's needed to select all of them. For example, now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 line here, another 4 line here, and a circle there. So sometimes I need to select all of them, sometimes I just need to know how many segments are there, or sometimes you need to delete all of them or some of them. I mean some of the segments. Okay, I'm going now to show you how to write a script in Python to select all of the segment under a sketch. I'm going to first run my libraries, then connect SolidWorks to Python. Okay, I'm going to write the code and then explain it at the end. Here we define two new variables called SW or SolidWorks Selection Manager and SolidWorks Select Data. This is Selection Manager, which allows us to select each of segments we want, and it's basically working on their design tree. Then we have SolidWorks Selection Data, which will be used in the future. I will show it to you. Then we need to actually select our sketch. For that, I need to select this sketch. I can use macro or just code it here. And for that, I'm going to create a Boolean variable. Yeah, and if the Boolean is true, a selection was successful. And if the Boolean status is false, it means that the selection was not successful and it was failed. Okay, I'm going to test it. Run this block of code. We have some errors. Okay, I have some error here. Okay, test it another time. Okay, we can see here now I'm able to create these two variables and select the specific sketch that I want to be selected. Okay, the rest of the code is like this. Okay, in these three lines, I first used get selection object. Let me show it in API help. First, I need to open API help here and let's to search for it. Okay, it said get select object 6 will get select objects. It means it gets an object for us from the selection we had. For an example, this sketch can give us an object that we can modify it in the future. Next, I use get a specific feature to. Let me search for it too. Okay. And it says it gives me more specific information or details about the object. And in the next line, I used get a sketch segment. And if I search for it, it says it gets all of the SolidWorks segment under a specific sketch for us. So with these three lines, I think I am able to get all of the segments under a specific sketch. Okay, let's run it. Okay, it can run smoothly without any error. Okay, let me show you what is VSketch segment is. Let me print it here. As we can see, it contains a lot of segments and a lot of data here. Let me print the number of it. It contains 11 segments that all of them are here. For example, 4 here, 6 here with 2 these center lines and 1 circle. So we have 11 segments in this sketch, and you can see this line show us that 11 segments exist in this sketch. Now that I have access to all of these segments, I can easily select all of them with just the loop. Let me show you here. First, I'm going to just select one of them for an example, then I'm going to write a code to select all of them. For just selecting one of them, I'm going to create a new block, and I'm going to say SW or SolidWorks sketch seg or segment equal to this variable and its first argument. So going to run it, and then I'm going to select it. To select this segment, you need to use something called, let me show you here, select for method. And I'm sorry, it is not here, it is here. It has 2 arguments. You need to use this function to select a segment, and it gets 2 arguments. First is append, that should be true or false. If you pass true, it will append the selection to the previous one, and if you pass false, it will replace it. And for the data, it shows us we need to use iSelectData object that we created in the first of the video. You can see it here. We should use this SWSelectData to pass it when we want to use select for. Okay, let me select this object. For example, I'm going to say another bool status to understand that it's true or not, and here SW sketch segment dot select for. I'm going to pass false because I just want to select this segment and not append it to the previous one. And for the data, I'm going to copy this one and paste it here. Let me rearrange my windows. Okay, let's run this block of code. And as you can see, now I'm able to select a specific segment under my sketch, that in this case is sketch 1. Okay, let's write a code to select all of the segments, and for that I'm going to use a loop. Okay, I wrote a little code here with for or with a loop that it will go through all of the arguments or all of the members of VSketch segments, and it will save it in this variable, then it will select it with select for. And I passed through because I want to append the selection to the previous one. So we expect that with running this code, all of these segments should be selected, not just one of them. Let's run it. Okay, after around 3 seconds or 4 seconds, you can see all of our segments are selected now. Okay, we can do other things with this object, and for example, I'm going to show you one thing for an example. I just first use the first argument, and I want to get the name. So we talk about it that each of these objects, for example, this circle, has its own name, and we need its name to select it or add dimension or other stuff. And for that, we had something called getName. I'm going to use it dot get name. I'm going to run it, and its name is arc1. So you can get the name of each segment under a specific sketch with this code, and you need to run this code first to get all of the segment, and then run this block of code, or just this line, get name dot get name, to get the name of a specific segment under a specific sketch. Okay guys, this is the end of the video. In this video we talked about how to select all of the segment under a specific sketch, and we wrote a script in Python to do it for us, and I'm going to upload this code in GitHub. Okay guys, see you in the next videos, and goodbye.